Many significant novels were written during the latter half of the 20th century about the Second World War. Catch-22 is a satirical criticism written in 1961 by Joseph Heller following airmen stationed on a base near Italy, an island base, mainly following the life of Captain John Yossarian and their plight to survive and remain sane while flying bombing missions. Heller's novel has since been inducted into the English language as a figure of speech of sorts, and the following is a conversation in which the airbase's doctor explains to Yossarian the unsolvable Catch-22. It was a horrible joke, but Doc Danica didn't laugh until Yossarian came to him one mission later and pleaded again, without any real expectation of success, to be grounded. Doc Danica snickered once, and was soon immersed in problems of his own, which included Chief Wife Halfo, who had been challenging him all that morning to Indian wrestle, and Yossarian, who decided right then and there to become crazy. "You're wasting your time," Doc Danica was forced to tell him. "Can't you ground someone who's crazy?" "Oh, sure, I have to. There's a rule saying I have to ground anyone who's crazy." "Then why can't you ground me? I'm crazy. Just ask Clevenger." "Clevenger? Where is Clevenger?" "You go find Clevenger, and I'll ask him." "Then ask any of the others. They'll tell you I'm crazy." "They're crazy." "Then why don't you ground them?" "Why don't they ask me to ground them?" "Because they're crazy, that's why." "Of course they're crazy," Doc Danica replied. "I just told you they're crazy, didn't I? And you can't let crazy people decide whether you're crazy or not, can you?" Yossarian looked at him somberly and tried another approach. "Is Orr crazy?" "He sure is," Doc Danica said. "Can you ground him?" "I sure can, but first he has to ask me to. That's part of the rule." "Then why doesn't he ask you to?" "Because he's crazy," Doc Danica said. "He has to be crazy to keep flying combat missions after all the close calls he's had." "Sure, I can ground Orr, but first he has to ask me to." "That's all he has to do to be grounded?" "That's all. Let him ask me." "And then you can ground him?" Yossarian asked. "No, then I can't ground him." "You mean there's a catch?" "Of course there's a catch," Doc Danica replied. "Catch-22. Anyone who wants to get out of combat duty isn't really crazy." There was only one catch, and that was Catch-22, which specified that a concern for one's own safety in the face of dangers that were real and immediate was a process of a rational mind. Orr was crazy and could be grounded. All he had to do was ask, and as soon as he did, he would no longer be crazy and have to fly more missions. Orr would be crazy to fly more missions and sane if he didn't, but if he was sane, he had to fly them. If he flew them, he was crazy and didn't have to, but if he didn't want to, he was sane and he had to. Yossarian was moved very deeply by the absolute simplicity of this Catch-22 and let out a respectful whistle. "That's some catch, that Catch-22, he observed. "It sure is." So, I know some people may have had to read this book in high school as I did, and I've read this book a few times, and this is kind of my favorite part because it explains the whole Catch-22, which is the main premise of the book, how the main characters, they want to get out of flying combat missions, but they can't because if they want to, then they're not crazy and they can't be grounded. I would suggest any of you that haven't read this book, definitely check it out because it's one of my favorite World War II books out there. Thanks for listening.